Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to continue looking at our second macroeconomic goal, full employment, and what we're really trying to do in this dot point is understand how the ABS groups different people within the labour force or not within the labour force. Remembering that what the ABS is really trying to do is get an understanding of what the hell is going on in the labour market. Do people have jobs? Are they earning income? Do they want more work? That's really what the ABS is trying to understand in simplistic terms. VCAR is telling us that we need to understand the classifications within the labour force, including people who are employed or unemployed, people who are what we call hidden unemployed, long-term unemployed, underemployed, and frictional unemployment. So let's get into it. Before we do though, I guess the first important distinction to remember is that the ABS is really only, for now at least, looking at people who are over the age of 15. They want to look at the working age population. And what they're doing with that group of people is they're breaking it down into two sides, people who are in the labour force and not in the labour force. Now, you'll hear this term, the labour force, a lot. It's really important. It means that if you're in the labour force, it means that you are participating. I'm not going to write that all out. And if you're not in the labour force, it means you're not participating. And of course, that's how we look at the participation rate. There are a couple of reasons you might not participate. You might be studying like yourself. You might be on maternity or paternity leave. You might be retired, or you may be unable to work. And if you are in the labour force, you're divided into two groups, really. You're either unemployed or employed. Okay, so let's dig into this. Firstly, what does it mean to be employed? Well, you actually only need to be working 1 hour a week in a formal job, a paid job, a legally paid job. As a lot of students ask me, what happens if I'm getting cash? Well, you're not classified as employed if you're not on a contract. And so you only need to be working 1 hour a week to be deemed employed by the ABS. Now, to be unemployed, it's really important to understand this. You obviously need to be not working 1 hour a week, but you also have to be actively looking for work. That's an important part because there are a lot of people that don't have a job in Australia, as we just saw in the last slide. Not all of them are deemed unemployed. So you have to be actively looking for work for the ABS to say, yep, that person is unemployed. Hidden unemployment or discouraged unemployment is just that. There are two things. One, it's hidden from the ABS in the way that they measure unemployment once we get to the calculation. And the reason it's hidden is because these people become discouraged from looking for jobs, okay? Because they've been maybe looking for a long time, maybe it's a poor labour market, maybe the economy is really slow, and they just give up looking for a job because it kind of sucks looking for a job for a long time. So where do these people fall? Well, they fall over here in the not looking, not in the labour force, and therefore they don't get calculated in the unemployment rate. So that's why they're hidden. They're hiding over here in this not looking for section over here, when really they should be over here in the unemployed people. The next one is if you are long-term unemployed. Well, this just means that you've been looking for a job for a long time. The ABS classifies anybody who's been looking for a job for more than 52 weeks as being long-term unemployed. So that just means that you are over here in this group of unemployed people here. I'll draw a little graph again. And in Australia, there's about 150,000 people who have been looking for a job for over 12 months. So are in this group of unemployed, but they've been there for 12 months. The next one is what we call underemployed or disguised employed, and that's because they're disguised as being employed, but really they want more work, so they're underemployed. Okay, so someone who is underemployed is usually someone who's working part-time, but wants to work more hours, wants to be full-time, but their employer is not giving them those hours. So again, the ABS is trying to understand what's going on in the labour market, and we need to know, people may have a job, but is it enough hours to sustain your lifestyle or your living standards? So if I go back to this chart again, always going the wrong way, come on Josh, and I look at the employed, so they would be showing up in this side in the employed persons, but they would be most likely part-time because most people who have worked full-time have enough hours. They would be showing up here in this part-time employed, but actually they maybe should be unemployed, or we're not really sure where to put them. So they're disguised. The last one is just a type of unemployment. There are actually lots of types of unemployment. VCAR just asks you to understand one, which is frictional unemployment, And I always think of friction as movement. When there's friction in your hand, there's movement. It's the same in the labour force. Someone who is frictionally unemployed is someone who is moving from one job to another. Okay, they'll be unemployed for a period of time. We call that frictional unemployment. So if I go back here again, they would show up in this little group of unemployed persons, but they would be between jobs. Okay, so it's a type of unemployment. All right, in the next video, we'll look at how we put all these classifications together and we actually do some measurements and we look at the participation rate and the unemployment rate. All right, bye for now.